I like to feel like I'm prepared, but I never am for these videos. I'm going to go do stuff. I need to get this side clean and just put all the trash on that side. Mama? Yeah? I'm gonna shoot a video. Love ya. What are you doing over there? I mean, we usually do it like, you know, but I mean, you want to try something different, I guess we could do this. Hey everybody, how you guys doing? I hope you're doing okay. Today is day, it's been 1, 2, 3, 5 years in quarantine, but everything's okay, it's fine, I'm fine. Now, you might be asking, Rachel, why are you standing up? Why are you being so weird? Something weird has happened. I'm like dressed in normal-ish clothes and I kind of look all right. I got a little makeup happening. I just thought, you know, in case this never happens again, I should maybe show to you guys that I actually get dressed sometimes. And I know what you're saying, Rachel, you're in leggings and a hoodie. Well, for me, this is pretty fancy. Before we start, I also want to say that I have somehow injured my wrist. I think I pulled a muscle yesterday. If I'm acting weird with it or kind of like, no worries, everything's fine, I think it'll be okay. It's just a little, you know what I'm saying? Also, I want to say that I have my camera on autofocus, so if it's making that kind of noise, just ignore it. It's just focusing. I hope we're in focus. Who's to say? Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I hope you like it. Okay. So what the heck are we doing today? I just did a video about Southern slang, and I realized that there are many things in my life that, you know, caused me to be a weirdo. Living in the South, being introverted, being homeschooled, and one of the main, you know, contributors to my craziness, I feel, is that I grew up with only brothers. So I'm the youngest of 3 children. I have 2 older brothers, Caleb, who is 26, and Jeremy, who is 22. I'm 21. So, and I've noticed things, I feel like I do that I know that my friends who have sisters don't do. So I was just doing some research. Listen, I just want to see how true and accurate these are and give you some stories about what it was like to grow up with my bros. I've not informed my brothers that I will be doing this video, so here's hoping all goes well. This first website is 40, it's a lot, more than 30, less than 50. 40 signs you definitely grew up with brothers. I also want to say that not only was I the only girl, I was the youngest, so that adds a whole other layer of like behavioral tendencies. And I also want to start by saying that I have 2 incredibly amazing, wonderful, fantastic older brothers. I brag on them all the time, especially with other friends who say they wish they had a brother or wish they had brothers like my brothers. I'm always telling them, you're right. A lot of that comes from having an amazing father that set such a good example. Anyway, the men in my life are beautiful, wonderful people. Incredibly blessed. I have a great relationship with my brothers. We're super close. I drive them crazy because I love them so much. Ow! God bless America. Back on subject, we're just gonna go through these and I'm gonna, you know, tell you what I think about it. You have to play with your Barbie dolls alone. And if your brother's asked to play, his intentions are not pure. I'm looking at you, Jeremy Ramsey. Your Barbies won't make it out alive. Now let me tell you a story. My brother, I was also a very shy kid, so I didn't really hang out with a lot of the girls my age. I stuck with my brothers most of the time. My Barbie doll companion, I forced my brother to be. So he used to play with me, but almost every time he would like blow up my house or rob us and like kill Barbie, and I was like, Jeremy, we are playing house. You're the dad. The dad is not supposed to assassinate the family. Anytime that I kind of roped the boys into playing what I wanted to play, it didn't go exactly as I intended it to, but still loved the effort. It was very sweet of him to try to play with me. Brother's sole purpose in life is to scare you to death or make you cry, but if any other boy makes you cry, they're dead meat. I don't remember any of the boys that I hung out with or my brother's friends ever saying anything to me. I remember one instance someone said something to me in middle school and Jeremy was there. And he was like, well, I'm friends with your brother, I can pick on you too. And Jeremy said, no, you cannot. That is my sister and you don't have a place here. He might not remember it, he might deny it, but I remember. You became pretty good at fist fighting and wrestling. Now here's the thing, just I was involved doesn't mean I was good at it. I definitely think I was that child. Like, I wanted to be involved and I wanted to do the things that my brothers were doing, but as soon as I got hurt, I was done. I expected them to go soft on me. They didn't. So they were like, either you play with us and pay your dues or you're out. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I would go to my mom and be like, they suck. Oh, so I'm gonna talk about it. Boys show you no mercy in a snowball fight. Again, anytime I was involved with my brothers, they were either I was on their side and they were protecting me till the death. I always wanted to be with them in like snowball fights and those kind of situations. But then if I was on the opposing side, there was no grace, there was no gentleness, and I got pelted many times. They always team up against their sister. Boys have this weird little bro code where they feel it is the law to team up against the girl in the house. And I don't appreciate it, and it still happens. We were playing cards the other day, and it was me and my oldest brother Caleb and my parents, and me and Caleb were on a team. It just didn't go well. Caleb was like, you're the worst, we don't want to be a team anymore. And I was like, you're the worst, you're bringing me down. Things were said. And then I called Jeremy because I was like, Jeremy's my bro, you know, he'll support me, he'll help me. And I called Jeremy and I said, Jeremy, I need you to side with me and tell me how amazing I am and tell me that Caleb is the worst. And then Caleb started calling Jeremy while he's sitting next to me. And Jeremy hangs up on me and answers Caleb's phone call. And they start talking about me, about how I'm the worst. And I'm like, what? I was utterly shocked. You'll end up liking having guy friends way more than girls. Now this is interesting. I've read that a lot, and in my case it wasn't true. I was very shy. So even though I hung out with my brothers and their friends a lot when I was really little, I didn't become like super good friends with them. When I started coming out of my shy phase, I clung to the friends at my church that were girls. Even though I feel more comfortable with my brothers and they're, you know, messing around and hanging out, I'm not always comfortable with guys. So I definitely have more girlfriends than I do guy friends. But I do feel like having brothers and growing up in that, I definitely understand the way men work. When I first started hanging out with girls, I was like, what is wrong with you people? Why are we fighting about this? Why are we cuddling each other? This makes no sense. Because I was so used to the way my brothers operated. So the girly like tendencies, I didn't get. I was definitely much more comfortable in this other setting. So I don't know, I don't know why that is. This one's interesting. Your brothers will have crushes on your friends. Now let me tell you a story. I have two ladies in my life who I have let into my soul. I've let into my inner circle. I love them with everything inside of me. We are best friends, been friends since childhood, all the good stuff. Now my brothers married both of those women. They'll definitely be the biggest confidence boost you have to tell you you're always beautiful. This is true. My brothers have always been super, super good about treating me as a woman. Even though they didn't go easy on me or whatever, they definitely saw that there was a difference between us and how we felt and how we operated, and they respected that and they nurtured that the best that they could. I remember, you know, my brothers would tell me how beautiful I was. I remember my brothers coming in and praying with me at night. I remember when I didn't wear makeup, they would be like, you know, you don't need the makeup. You don't need all this stuff. This is funny. So it said that, and then it said, or when they're mad at you, they'll tell you that you look like a Cabbage Patch Kid or a troll doll. Now this is true. God, me and my brothers, more me and Jeremy because we're closer in age, so it's more of like a kind of thing. Every time that I'm with Jeremy, because I'm an emotional human being, okay? I have feelings. But I'll say, Jeremy, I love you, and he'll go, I know. But if Jeremy didn't do that with me, I don't think I would feel love, because that's how he interacts with humans. So when Jeremy is kidding, when we're kidding to each other, I like to call him cottage cheese for reasons that don't need to be explained, because it's hilarious. But they would never call me ugly or anything like that. You'll become their wing woman, but they will never become your wingman. In everything that you do, they will be your biggest fan. Sometimes it's embarrassing. It's okay. Boo. Any new weapon-like toy they got as a child, you were their first victim. Let me tell you a story. I want you to know that I was not harmed. I don't think. But there was the time when my brother was really into airsoft. And we used to play this game. that was Rachel put on as many layers of clothes as she can, go to the end of the hall, and we're gonna shoot her with an airsoft gun. And of course I was like, yeah, because I was just happy to be part. You know, I was just happy to be wanted. Any airsoft gun, Nerf gun, any weapon, any foam swords. Growing up, you were always told they'll be your best friend someday. Your leftovers are never safe. Now let's talk about this for a second. There is a known fact in my family, in our household, that you don't eat someone else's leftovers. It is like the worst sin you could ever commit. That's a line you just don't cross, so no to that one, but I see what you're saying. They teach you valuable life skills, knowing how to tackle and play Xbox before I knew how to braid my own hair. Now this is ridiculously true. My brother taught me how to use a gun, Nerf gun, you know, throw a punch, take a hit, before I ever even knew like makeup was a thing. I was getting karate lessons, definitely not hair lessons. They would destroy you for turning off their video games. Yeah, again, that's a line I never wanted to cross. My brothers were big on their games and I just didn't feel safe interfering. Ooh, being around them gave you special intel, knowing how guys think because you hear all your brothers talking to his friends about girls. The rules were never fair. Me, Mom, can I go out? Mom, be home by 9. Brothers, Mom, I'm going out. Mom, okay, see you in 4 days. But then growing up with brothers, I just assumed, like, yeah, I can go on a few day trip on my own when I'm 16. Like, this is safe. It was very different when I started driving, when I started going out, when I started doing whatever. It was very different than what I saw happen with my brothers. I get it. It's fine. You never knew if you really belonged. Being told you're adopted every day when you were younger. I was like, shut up. Not true. We have the same eye color, right? They're super protective. If a dating app is ever brought up, that's shut down. This one time we were out with a group of people, and one of my friends said that she got DM'd by some random guy that wanted to meet up with her, and jokingly, I said, oh, you always meet up, always. You just go meet him. And it started a thing with not only my brothers, but my brother's friends, and I was like, I'm kidding. You always felt like one of the boys, having the same humor as a guy because you basically are one. I've noticed that when we go out, there tends to be this like natural separation where like the guys go do this and the girls go do this. Not always true. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to hang out with the girls, but they're like setting stuff on fire and I want to be part of that. We had a 4th of July party a while ago and the boys were out like doing firecrackers and stuff and the girls were just sitting there and I was like, I want to go. And then my brothers asked me if I wanted to come do one of the things and I was like, God, yes. They still think they can boss you around when they randomly become mature and act like a second father. I don't think this is ever going to change. I'm not 21 years old and it's still a thing. And again, being the youngest was kind of put upon them to take care of your younger sister, everywhere we went all the time. You grew up, whoa, off balance. You grew up watching Star Wars and Lord of the Rings instead of Barbie and Bratz. Occasionally I could sneak in, you know, a Barbie movie here and there, but they would never partake in it. I knew what Star Wars was before I knew what VeggieTales was. My dad loves it, my brothers love it, it's kind of a problem. Yeah, definitely was forced to watch these movies and now I have a problem because now I love these kind of movies. I love the action, love the intensity, love manly movies, and I don't know what to do about it. No one actually taught you how to put on makeup properly, so it was a trial and error type of thing. My mom has never been a super girly girl. She taught me the basics, you know, mascara, foundation, but it was a long, long time before I really started getting up into makeup, and even then, yeah, it was a lot of YouTube videos. I was definitely late to the makeup party. When the family is voting on something, the women are always outnumbered. Sometimes, you know, me and my mom will get aggressive, and now it's much better because of my sister-in-laws who are beautiful, wonderful people who have saved my life. Because they're boys and don't understand us women, you can use the time of the month excuse in your favor. Did that many times. Sometimes you wish you had a big sister who would curl your hair and give you dating advice like your other friends, but then you realize that houses full of girls have a lot more crime, fighting, and drama, so you're kind of happy that you avoided it. People always ask, do you wish you had grown up with a sister? And I was like, nope. Because once I started to get a peek into that life, I realized how lucky I was. But even though you mess with each other, you love your brothers and wouldn't have wanted to grow up any other way. I will say that growing up with brothers, I have some masculine tendencies in the way that I talk or I act or whatever. The fact that I avoid dresses at all costs. Makeup is great, love it, but it's, you know, it's a little annoying. My brothers would not allow me to become the kind of person that had to wear makeup everywhere she went because I would be mocked very much. So definitely will say that a lot of my style and the way that I act comes from, you know, being the only girl in my house. Like, I do know how men operate. I'm comfortable with it. Thank you. I kind of got lucky with the men in my life. I definitely wouldn't have changed anything about the way I grew up. Always felt loved, always felt protected. And even now, I like to ask my brothers sometimes, I'm like, you know, if a boy ever hit me, what would you do? Of course, they're like getting their guns out. They're like, I'm sorry, did someone hit you? Is someone looking at you funny? Do we need to kill somebody? Protectiveness, although sometimes can be frustrating, always made me feel loved, always made me feel secure. I've always felt respected, and I say it all the time. Something that makes it really hard to find a boyfriend or find a good man is because I have such high expectations and high standards, because I've seen the way that my dad treats my mom and the way that my brothers treat their wives and the way that they've treated me. I know what it looks like to be treated well. If I'm 37 and not married, you can blame my brothers because they're just too freaking fantastic. So that was just a little peek into my life. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are the only girl, leave a comment and let me know how that went for you. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you liked what you saw, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more stuff, hit that subscribe button. I love you guys.